You know what? I am still so mad about that damn reality star beating up his pregnant girlfriend that I had to go out during the break and punch a wall with my bare fist. I'm not going to show it to you because it's not a very beautiful image, but it just made me so very, very angry. And something else has made me angry as well that's out there. An important issue. Immigration is really back in the limelight again with a law that has been signed today, actually, in Arizona. Now, I didn't print out all the legalese for you. You can go online. You can find the law. And you may or may not know that immigration, and it's an issue that affects everybody. I'm from Texas, so we're right on the Mexican border. Immigration is an issue for me and for us in Texas. It's an issue really that affects everybody, although it seems to be more prevalent in some states as opposed to others. It's more of an issue, of course, in Texas. We're on the border as, say, I don't know, North Dakota, although it does have national and international impacts and consequences. We are very, very aware of immigration issues up here in New York. This city is a true melting pot. Another place where immigration is an issue is Arizona. Came up in the presidential race. John McCain, of course, is a senator from Arizona. Immigration reform was discussed by all political candidates of all political parties. It's another hot button issue, but there is a bill that was just signed today, a state bill by Arizona Governor Jan Brewer that requires police to determine whether a person is in the United States legally, which critics are saying could foster racial profiling and discrimination. Now, today, President Barack Obama criticized the bill, calling it misguided. And let me just read a quote from President Obama. He says, "Our failure to act responsible at the federal level will only open the door to irresponsibly by others. That includes, for example, the recent efforts in Arizona, which threaten to undermine basic notions of fairness that we cherish as Americans, as well as the trust between police and their communities that is so crucial to keeping us safe." Interestingly enough, the president said this at a naturalization ceremony for 24 members of the military. A naturalization ceremony is when someone who was not born here in America, through whatever means are necessary, becomes naturalized citizens. So the bill is out there. Now, what would Arizona's immigration bill do? Now, it's Arizona Senate Bill 1070. If you want to look this up, that's what you put in. Arizona Senate Bill 1070. Put that in. Now, just in layman's terms, what the bill does, from CNN, what does the Arizona law do? Arizona's law orders immigrants to carry their alien registration documents at all times and requires police to question people if there is reason to suspect they are in the United States illegally. It also targets those who hire illegal immigrant laborers or knowingly transport them, which basically means you cannot hire illegal immigrant laborers if you know that they're illegal immigrant laborers, or you're liable for whatever the punishment is. I don't know what the punishment is on any of this stuff. We're going to get into that. And it's so crazy that this is coming out because as you know, we're in New York. I was having lunch the other day. I went into a spot and I had ordered a burger. And I was looking around, and I'm always aware, as we all should be as human beings, just thinking about stuff and taking in what's around me and the people that were working at this place. It was like just a microscopic slice of nationalities. All of the cooks were visually of Latin persuasion. And I say that because you can see somebody who looks white And so visually you say that they're white, but you really don't know what their ethnicity is or really where they're from just by looking at them. Now I'm not going to be all PC about this. You know what? You can look at me and you can tell I'm not white. So let's just be real about this. And you can look at people and know, that there's some flavor there. The people that were working the registers, who I'm assuming, and you can tell by the way they were carrying themselves, were Asian, of an Asian persuasion. They're the owners of this establishment. And then you had all of the workers there. It's very busy at lunch. I work in downtown New York, and there were people, business people and artists, and there I am, and I'm mixed with like everything except, Asian and Australian. Let me clear that up as well. Black people, white people, Latin people, Indian people, everybody's in this place. And I was thinking about the cooks, and then I started thinking about just immigration issues all of a sudden. You know how you'll do that? You'll just be, waiting somewhere, and then you just start having thoughts and just thinking about things. I mean, we don't aimlessly just walk around the street. Our minds are constantly processing things. And I knew that this immigration bill was out there. And first of all, I'm wondering, and again, let me just read this one more time, because just the language, and this isn't the specific language, this is, the layman's terms, but just the idea that the bill would require police, first of all, to require, so we're requiring police to determine whether a person is in the United States legally, which critics say foster racial profiling. And let me back this up real fast. Before this bill was instituted, police weren't required to do this unless the people broke a law. Now, if you came in and you had committed a crime, if you burglarized a house or assaulted somebody, at that point in time, they were to determine your identity. And through determining your identity, if I needed to get my identity determined, then that would prove I was an American citizen once they pulled this out. If you committed another crime at that point in time, yes, they had to figure out if you were an actual citizen. That's this bill is just about in general. And I can see where this is going to be very, very problematic. And I can see where this could become very, very racial. In fact, I don't see how it can't. And it's real easy, people. Like, we don't need to, let's be real honest about this. Again, you don't know if I'm from America or not, irregardless of what I look like. And this goes for all races. A white person could be from Sweden, and they're just over here, and they shouldn't be here. A Latin person could be a Latin-looking person. So you can't even have a conversation about this without getting real. A black person might be, from Minnesota. They could be from Somalia. How do you, if you're required to figure out if a person is here legally or not, how do you do that without stopping everybody that you see through the course of your day and asking for their documents? How can that be done? How can that be done? It can't be done. The only way it can be done is if, see, I'm so passionate about this, I can't even get the words out of my mouth. There is only one way to do this. One way to do this. And that is to hire people that literally all day long stop every single person they see and ask for their credentials. That is the only way to do this. You cannot visually look at a person and think, that one might be illegal, but this one doesn't. There is no way to do that. No way for a human being to do that visually alone. This is a disastrous bill. This is horrible. Makes no sense. But let's be real about this. We know what this is about. I'm taking kind of an intellectual approach to this thing. This is about politics. And it's not about the person who could be from Sweden illegally. And it's not about the black person that could be from Somalia. This is about the Mexicans. And that's what this is about.